Inside a radio studio shows Fred Willard as Buck Laughlin, John Belushi as Jim Belushi, Chris Farley as Todd O'Connor, and Mike Haggerty as himself, all sitting around a studio desk. Willard: hello and welcome back to ESP Radio, number one among the spirits, and we're brought to you by Incense Incorporated. Looking to get your dead missus back in the mood? Try Incense. And with me, as always, are Jim Belushi, Todd O'Connor, and Mike Haggerty. Folks, we have a lot to get to with our Chicago Bears in an upset, defeating the San Francisco 49ers 19-10 yesterday. Belushi raises a glass of beer and says, "Da Bears." The other three raise their glasses and say, "Da Bears." Willard: however, our producer did book a basketball expert, Jonathan Tjarks, to talk some basketball before we get to the Bears. Farley: damn it! Willard: are you there, Mr. Tjarks? Over the speakerphone, Jonathan Tjarks says, "It's actually pronounced Tjarks?" Willard: I'm sure it is. Anyway, my producer just told me that you were a writer for The Ringer and that you recently passed away. Is that right? Tjarks: unfortunately, that's correct. If you check TheRinger.com, you can find a link to the GoFundMe page to support my widow and very young son, who I miss deeply. Haggerty: can we donate Bears memorabilia? Tjarks: money would be preferable. Willard: okay, Jonathan, we're sorry to hear that, and I hate to say this, but our minds are elsewhere after the big Bears win yesterday. So can we just bust through some NBA talk as quick as possible so we can get back to the Bears? Tjarks: well, it's your show. Willard: very good. Okay, so when is Kevin Durant joining the Bulls? Belushi raises his glass and says, "Da Bulls." The other three raise their glasses and say, "Da Bulls." Tjarks: well, Buck, as of now, it appears that KD has rescinded his trade demand and will be remaining with the Brooklyn Nets. Willard: I'm sorry, Jonathan. I thought you said the Brooklyn Nets. Tjarks: I did. Farley: no. Sleep. Tell Brooklyn. Willard: now I'll say, Jonathan, I feel like this whole basketball thing has changed on me overnight. Last I checked, the Nets were the New York Nets and were ABA champions thanks to Dr. J. Julius Erving. Haggerty: speaking of Julius, how about that Julius Peppers, huh? That 2010 Bears defense was absolutely terrific. Wasn't it, Jonathan? Tjarks: yeah, I guess so. Okay, anyway, there's a lot to unpack here. The Nets franchise did win 2 ABA titles. However, starting in 1976, shows Willard not paying attention and thinking to himself, why the hell did the producer book a basketball guy on the day after a Bears victory? I should have just stuck to those damn dog shows. Tjarks: they then moved to New Jersey and became the New Jersey Nets? Shows Belushi not paying attention and thinking to himself, my God, Jalen Johnson's peanut punch yesterday while wearing number 33 brought back so many memories of when my wife kicked me out and I had to live in the streets and had to watch the Bears through other people's windows. Tjarks: in the 90s, they featured the duo Derek Coleman and Kenny Anderson. Shows Farley not paying attention and thinking to himself, boy, that Justin Fields, when the play breaks down and he has to improvise, he really plays well. That was such a great play on the touchdown to Pettis. I remember when Pettis' dad, Gary Pettis, was the first base coach for the White Sox, and I stormed the field and tried to tackle him before Frank Thomas laid me out. Tjarks: and in the 02 and 03 seasons, they made 2 consecutive NBA final appearances, led by Hall of Famer Jason Kidd. Shows Haggerty not paying attention and thinking to himself, I got to hand it to Coach Eberflus. That was a great first win against a team that last year made it to the NFC Championship, no less. Plus the Packers lost. I mean, of course, I'd rather have Coach Ditka leading the team, but maybe Eberflus can be Ditka light. Or maybe Ditka on a diet. That's it. Diet Ditka. Coach Eberflus is like Diet Ditka. Tjarks. And so now they'll still have Durant as well as Kyrie Irving, who, if they can stay healthy and cohesive, would count as a small handful of best current duos in the NBA. Willard. Okay, thank you, Jonathan. That was a remarkably detailed and thorough rendition of the history of the Nets franchise. So before we let you go, we'd like to ask you, how do you like the Bears' chances to win the division this year? Tjarks. Honestly, it was a nice win for them yesterday, but until Fields shows he's enough of a threat as a runner that defenses become forced to game plan for that primarily, I'm concerned that the passing game will not open up for him to the degree necessary for them to win 10 or 11 games. And at the end of the day, it's hard to bet against Aaron Rodgers winning the division again. Belushi throws his empty glass against the wall and it shatters. Farley. You bastard! Haggerty. What the hell, Jonathan? Willard. I'm sorry, Mr. Tjarks. Tjarks. It's Tjarks? Willard. That's right, Mr. Tjarks. I figured you knew the rule here. You're not allowed to say the Packers quarterback by full name. Willard looks towards Farley and says, Todd over there was about 150 pounds until he accidentally brought up former Packers QB Brett F. And now look at him. Do you have anything to say for yourself? Tjarks. Well, how about dead from the earth, we're not alive. It's Saturday Not Alive, starring John Belushi, Chris Farley, Phil Hartman, Jan Hooks, Norm McDonald, Gilda Radner, Denitra Vance, and many other special deceased contributors. Musical guest, Donny Hathaway, and your host, Rodney Dangerfield. Everybody, Rodney Dangerfield. Applause, applause, applause. Dangerfield. Thank you. Well, I'll say that applause is about the most respect I ever get. I get no respect, I tell you. On November 22nd, 2001, my 80th birthday, I got booked on The Tonight Show. I told my manager, hey, that's my birthday. I'd rather have a day off. He told me the show booked me only as a favor because it was my birthday. So instead of sipping drinks by the pool having birthday cake, I got to go work on The Tonight Show that day. And my own heart showed me so little respect that I suffered a heart attack while doing the show. Hey, you know you get no respect when your own heart attacks you on your own birthday. So when people come up to me and say you got no heart, I tell them, well, actually I do. Turns out it's a prick. Attacking me on my own birthday, I tell you. Doesn't my heart realize that it's mutually assured destruction? Let's keep this war cold, okay? No reason to attack. I tell you anyway, Jay Leno was the host of The Tonight Show at the time. He told his producer to call the paramedics. And then Conan O'Brien showed up and asked his producer to call the paramedics. And then a minute later, Jay was back and again asked his producers to call the paramedics. So I went to the hospital. The staff there was upset I was smoking weed in my room. If only they knew about the cocaine before that. But I got out. I was doing okay. Until my manager booked me again on my birthday again. My 81st this time. To be on The Tonight Show again. But luckily myself and Mr. Gorbachev were able to mend the fences. And my heart didn't attack again. It was peaceful. At least until Putin showed up. Yeesh. In 2003, I underwent brain surgery to improve blood flow. No, not down there, but up in my head. But the doctor said the brain surgery didn't take. He opened my head and didn't find a brain in there. And then I had heart surgery in 2004. Upon entering the hospital for that surgery, when asked how long I'd be hospitalized, I said, if all goes well, about a week. If not, about an hour and a half. Well, I never woke up. Those bastards couldn't even kill me in an hour and a half. Instead, it took 6 weeks. I tell you, even under a coma, I get no respect. You know, when you hear people say that when they have a near-death experience, they have some angel tell them to go toward the bright white light. Well, not me, I tell you. I had some demon telling me to look down, follow the red light to the afterlife's red light district. I ask the demon, I say, can't I stay a little longer up here? You know, keep living longer? That demon tells me, hell no. Your heart's attacked Ukraine. There's no turning back. Anyway, we have a great show tonight. Donny Hathaway is here, so stick around, because he's got a song for you. Because someday we'll all be free and back together again. We'll be right back.